Happy December! If you follow me on social media, you'll know that last month was NaNoWriMo, and I was a participant. If you're wondering what NaNoWriMo is, it is National Novel Writing Month. It spans the month of November, and the goal is to write 50,000 words of a draft of a novel. I did not complete 50,000 words. NaNoWriMo loser! There's a few reasons that I could attribute to why I didn't complete the 50,000 words. One of them is that I did not prepare for NaNoWriMo at all. I kind of signed up on a whim. I literally signed up a couple of days before I went on my honeymoon. I did not prepare even a little bit. And yeah, and then when I got back from my honeymoon, it was November and I had to start immediately. My grandma died in the month of November, which is obviously very sad and took a lot of dealing with. So that was a whole big thing. And then of course there's the fact that I'm a chronic underwriter, and ultimately I don't think 50,000 word goal was really in the cards for me, kind of ever, at least on a first try. So I mean, it is what it is. I didn't complete 50,000 words, but I've got 35,000 more words than I would have had otherwise. So I'm going to count that as a pretty darn big chunk of writing, because that's what it is. So it's a couple of days into December now, and I figured I would do a hopefully quick pro and con list of NaNoWriMo, which is why I've got my little monster notebook down here, so that I can actually read off my pros and cons that I've done. You can make an informed decision next year, or whether you want to do one of the camp NaNoWriMos, or you know, you can sort of see who it might benefit and who it might not, because NaNoWriMo isn't for everyone. So my first pro is it is a big goal. I have never been good at setting personal goals. Having this big goal that everyone was working towards was actually pretty good for me. It meant that I had this solid number. I couldn't wiggle around it. I couldn't be there like, well, it's quite good if I just get up to it. I had to shoot for the 50,000 words, and even though I didn't reach it, it was good to shoot that high for a change. Con. It's a big goal. I know that's the same thing as the pro, but 50,000 words is a lot of words. It is a lot of words. Especially if you're not used to writing a lot every day. And I mean, I am used to writing a lot every day. 1,667, which is the average words you need to write every single day to complete NaNoWriMo. It's a lot of words. If life gets in the way, or if you just generally have a life, 50,000 words is a lot of words. My next pro is the community. This was a big part of the reason I decided to go for it and, you know, participate in NaNoWriMo, was that I was looking, and I'm still looking, for some writer friends, people I can talk to, people I can share bits with, and that's fine. Did I make any writer friends? I mean, I joined a couple of Discord groups and a couple of Facebook groups, and I learned a little bit more about writing hashtags. But I wouldn't say I've got any solid writer friends yet. I'm still looking, if you're interested. Con. Community. While knowing that thousands upon thousands of people are attempting NaNoWriMo with you can be really great and really reassuring, and it's that sort of like, we're all shooting for the same big goal, how wonderful is that? It can also be really discouraging when you see people who have completed the 50,000 word goal when you are nowhere near. I was on 20,000 words the first time somebody in my sphere of places I'd joined and people I was looking at said that they had completed their 50,000 word goal. And I got really discouraged because it felt like I would never be able to do that, because I was only on 20,000 words and I was already struggling. And as much as I'm not in competition with these other people, I know that logically, it is fairly human nature to feel a little competitive and to compare yourself to others. As much as you're really happy for these people who are achieving their goal, you're sort of looking at it going, what do they have that I don't have? How have they managed this? Especially these people over there like, oh, I'm balancing a job and my tiny infant children, and I've just managed on day 15 to reach 50,000 words. And you're like, do you sleep? Pro, there isn't really any fallout if you don't reach 50,000 words. You don't get any of the rewards from the sponsors of NaNoWriMo, which is like, oh, that's disappointing. And you can't call yourself a NaNoWriMo winner, which is, again, vaguely disappointing. But ultimately, that's pretty much it. The only sort of other problem with not completing the 50,000 word goal is that you don't have 50,000 words. And dependent on what your aim is from NaNoWriMo, that sometimes doesn't matter. Con. There's not really any fallout if you don't get to 50,000 words. But yeah, if you're motivated by like punishment, then you're gonna have to arrange your own punishment for this. NaNoWriMo is good for people who struggle to set themselves ambitious goals. People who need a good kick to actually get moving. People who are looking for a writer community and actually have the ability to, you know, speak. People who want the excuse to focus entirely on one project for one whole month and be able to put everything else on the back burner. If you're a chronic overwriter, you probably won't find any benefit in it. If 50,000 words comes easily to you, or you're the kind who regularly sort of info dumps or could go on thousands and tens of thousands of words of description and things that you will eventually have to cut out of the manuscript, NaNoWriMo, probably not for you. If you already have a really good writing schedule, whether that's 1,000 words a day or 2,000 words a day or 10,000 words a day, NaNoWriMo isn't going to help you any, unless you're aiming to get that 1,000 beyond 1,667 words. However, if you do have a really good writing schedule down, do you want to mess with it? So would I try NaNoWriMo again? Yeah. I mean, probably. I'll see you all again on the 28th for a read aloud. If you want more videos like this, please, please, please comment and let me know, because otherwise I'm just throwing things into the void. If you want more of my writing advice, check out my unwarranted advice tag on nopoodles.wordpress.com. There's some in there. If you'd like to read some of my stories, you can check out nopoodles.wordpress.com also. And if you would like to support me, there is a link to my Ko-fi account in the description bar below.